Okay, now we want to take a quick look at soft body dynamics, which means deformable soft objects like flesh or rubber. And if you want to take a look at this, here's, for example, a tire that is deforming under the weight of the car. This is what you can do with flesh, Chaos Flesh. Or you can try to animate muscles with it and make more believable deformations of character. There are some tutorials that I will put in the description that go much more into detail, which I'm not. This is just a quick test, and I must say it's not that much fun to play with Flash right now. It's still quite complicated, I think, and maybe it will remain so. Here's another tutorial that goes into detail, but we'll just do a quick test. First, you might want to enable some plugins that you might need. Most importantly, Flash. Yes. And machine learning deformer framework and ML deformer neural morph model. And since I'm going to use a USD file, I'll also check if the USD importer is enabled. And then I'm going to restart. This might take a while, so I'll be back in a moment. And we're back. So let's bring in the USD file. We still have a chaos folder here. Maybe we will make another folder called Flash, and let's see if we can drag and drop the USD file. It seems we can. We might want to reorient it, override stage options, because it probably comes in with the wrong up axis, and also it will be too small, so change this and import it. You don't have to do that if you don't bring in a USD from the same source as I did. So here it is. Let's drag it in, see what it looks like. A cute rubber ducky. And we're going to turn that into a Flash asset. But first, let's make a skeletal mesh from it, because from my understanding, Flash only works with skeletal meshes properly. So let's do that. And actually, we're going to do everything in here. It's a bit messy. It's not static meshes, so it actually doesn't belong here, but just for the sake of keeping this short. So next thing is a physics asset, namely a Flash asset, and we call it FA duck. Actually, we should rename everything because material is not a good name for the duck. Let's just rename the skeletal mesh. And when we open the Flash asset for the first time, it prompts us to create a new data flow or continue without, but we need one for Flash, so let's keep that name as a default, and then a new editor opens that looks a little bit like this. So this is the data flow graph for the new Flash asset, and we're going to bring in a skeletal mesh, namely the duck. And we will turn this into a skeleton collection, skeleton mesh to collection. Then we see it here, and we will turn this into, this is a very high-res mesh. Doesn't look like much, but it has a ton of triangles. And we're creating a low-res geometry for simulation, and it's called a tetra mesh. So we are looking for tetrahedral mesh, and we create tetrahedron. It's important to plug this into the source collection. This is something that might be a common mistake. And then you can set the resolution of the mesh here, which is a little bit high. Maybe we go to 8, make it low res. So the simulation mesh will look quite ugly. It will have a low resolution, so we can simulate it in real time. Otherwise, it will be a bit laggy, and this will later deform the actual mesh. So we will see the rubber ducky, but this will drive the deformations of the high-res mesh, like a shrink wrap, basically. Maybe we go a little bit higher here. Let's do 10. And then we are going to give physical properties, the default Flash properties. And you can see here you have settings for density, which basically it's the weight of the object, so to speak. And then we create a Flash asset terminal. So this is, actually should be able to see it now here, the little rubber duck. This is all we have to do for now. And we can click simulate, and it shoots up and it comes down in a elastic kind of fashion. So let's raise the position of that ducky a little bit, so it's not in the floor. And then we simulate again, and it bounces down and pretty much collapses on itself. This is because the density is too high. So it's too heavy. We could go like 0.2 and see what happens. And this looks much better. And we save the whole thing and bring it into the scene, into the map. So to test it here, we can just click the simulate button and we see that nothing happens. It's floating and it's not falling down or anything. That's because it doesn't have a solver yet. So we need to bring in a deformer solver actor, I think it's called. And we find that only if we have, I'm not sure, engine content or plugin content activated here, and then we can look for it. Deformable solver actor, that's what it's called. So we bring that in and we hit simulate, and still nothing's happening. That's because we have to assign it to the Flash actor. And if we click play now, we see, where is it? Okay, let's click simulate instead. Oh, there it is. If we click simulate, we see it's actually dropping down, but it's still ugly. It's that ugly mesh, and we want to have the rubber ducky deform by this. So what we need to do is we have to create a blueprint from that mesh. And here we have to add a skeletal mesh, which is the duck, of course. And we have to add the deformable solver. And then we go to the event graph and we're going to enable the simulation. And we're going to plug the solver here. And we need to cast it to the Optimus deformer. Whatever that means. And here we get the skeletal mesh and that was wrong. Okay, it should be like this. And then we hit compile and save. What we also need to do is we need to modify the data flow again. And we're going to create a surface binding. And this is going to happen at the very end of that chain. We're going to plug in the skeletal mesh. And save. And let's check if it works. Again, I pushed the wrong button. Happens all the time. Yeah, so everything should fall down, but it isn't. So I guess we forgot something. Let's check. Yeah, I think we need to enable the mesh deformer. And this is the DG Flesh deformer that we're using. Let's compile it, save it, close it. And again, terrible. Yeah, so as expected, not fully, okay, I had enough of this. I'll move the player start in the right direction. Okay, it should be better. Yeah, so it's deforming, but not as expected. And I couldn't really make it fully work in my previous tests, to be honest. That's why I'm a bit disappointed. Maybe this is not the right way to do it. I'm not sure, but we can take a look at the Flash asset one more time and look at the surface bindings. And here we have a surface projection that we can increase and make it a little bit bigger. And also, of course, we don't want to see the deformation mesh all the time. So let's go to the blueprint again and make that, I think it's this component, make it invisible. Hidden in-game should do the trick. File, close. Yeah. Yeah, so this kind of worked. So the mesh is deforming, but it's really ugly and I don't know why. And if somebody finds out, please leave a comment in the video. Yeah, as I said, I'm not too happy, but this is the way to go if you want to have soft body dynamics in Unreal. Maybe look at the tutorials that I recommended and put in the description. But that concludes today's video. Thank you very much for watching.